Well, YouTube, glad to finally be back on the water. Work schedule is kind of sort of straightened out a little bit to where it's more consistent. Don't want to jinx it by saying that. But we also have some thunderstorms roaming in the background, so I don't know exactly how long we're going to get to fish this afternoon. But we're going to do the typical thing. Now, the water has gone down, and it's got a lot clearer, and we're just going to fish with night crawlers and see what bites. Now, we've got lucky a couple of times down here in the last couple of months and caught some pretty decent fish on just night crawlers. If this spot don't pan out, I've got another place that I looked at on the way here that we're going to go and check out. So we're going to give this about an hour and a half and see what happens. Well, I've been fishing for about 10 minutes now and just realized I didn't have my camera on. Didn't miss nothing, but starting out with my little Casking Kestrel feather light with some 4-pound and a little split shot above the hook type thing. Going to catch some bait. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. I already had one bite, but missed it. There are a couple of fish out here. I've seen a few splashes here and there, but nothing worth noting, really. Here we got us a bite finally. Hopefully it'll stay on there, because we need some bait. He's on there. Don't feel too bad. Of course, anything feels good on this Kestrel feather light. And it's a drum. That is way too big for what I want. But he swallowed the shit out of it, so only one thing to do. Actually, you know what? He's a little bit bigger than what I want for bait. No longer than I'm going to be here, more than likely we won't need that much to begin with. I don't know if it's the little bit of current we've got pulling my bait down the creek or not. Something was pulling a little bit of line out there. I wouldn't be opposed to a couple pound carp, nothing huge, because that would be an amazing fight on this little Kestrel feather light. It'd get sporty real quick, and hey, there's a gar or something, I don't know. But it would get real sporty with the amount of 4-pound that I've got left on there. Alright, well, we've been here about 45 minutes. Caught one fish and got 2 bites, one of which was a dang good one, and didn't have my camera on. Not that it really mattered because nothing hooked up. But we're going to give it about 30 more minutes and then jump ship, because this spot is just not very lively. What is this over here? We got us a... kind of looks like a Rebel or a Bomber crankbait. Somebody snagged on the bank over here because one of the hooks was buried in the ground. Oh well. We'll just add it to our little collection. And here comes the arch nemesis. Yeah, I'm not waving at you. Anyway, I don't know that I've ever actually shown it on the channel, but I've got a little bait collection wall on the back of my door where anytime I find a bait or something, if it's still in decent shape, I'll hang it on this little signage post that I've got nailed horizontally to the back of the door. And I've got several years worth of baits that I've found along banks, from cheap handmade, well, homemade musky lures, a bunch of bass jigs, crankbaits and stuff like that, and a bunch of little inline spinners and whatnot. But this thing's in pretty good shape. Nothing's rusted, nothing's cracked. Hooks are bent a little bit, but I mean, that's nothing you can't fix with a pair of pliers. Alright, well, we're back at a place that has been nothing but jet skis and sadness here lately, so we've got, let's see what time it is, about an hour top left to fish, so let's try to catch some bait or anything. I'll take anything. That one just got hit, and I just barely had it in the water. Come on. And that's what I figure. I get a good bite, and I get drug into a snag. Y'all, it ain't for a lack of trying. Like, I go out just about every day that I'm off work and try to record some videos, but I can't even find bluegill right now. That's the heat of the summer, just sucks. Catfish are on spawn. Pretty much everything else is, and bass have already done their thing. Carp are a little bit more active, but kind of hard to catch carp when you ain't got carp bait.
Want to catch bass or catfish? First you have to know the gear and...
Hey, watching a Cast King video and something come along and grabbed it. What it is, what it is. It's our old buddy, old pal, the drumfish. And don't tell me you swallowed that. No, I get that. I can get that. Well, I was able to get that until you started damn flopping. That was well within the ability of getting that one back, but he started flopping and somehow got it farther down.
Welcome to Take 5 Boy.
Scrolling Instagrams. That's just what I have to do now. I've figured it out. I have to scroll Instagram so that I can get bites. Little yellow bass. That right there almost looks like a juvenile striper, which I'll put a picture of a juvenile striper on the screen here, but it ain't. Let's get it back. Did take my worm, but that's fine. As long as I'm catching fish instead of wasting worm, they can have a little bit. My camera battery died just as I started getting another bite. Stay on. Y'all, I talk about it all the time about enjoying catching these small fish and all that. But as much as I've been struggling with catching fish and trying to produce fresh videos lately, y'all have no idea how much I appreciate these little goobers right now. That right there was definitely an uplifting couple of fish.
It was a dark moon on the 6th of June in a Kenworth.
That's what I figured. I started getting a bite when I was listening to that song, so I turned it off. Stopped getting a bite, so I turned it back on. Now I'm getting another bite. This one's a little bit nicer. Kind of feels like a catfish. It's definitely the biggest of the day. And that's exactly what it is. Little juvenile channel kitty. I'm getting kamikaze by mosquitoes and trying to avoid getting stabbed by a catfish. Yeah, you gutted it. You gutted it. Fortunately, catfish are fairly resilient and can take being gutted like that. Well, I really need to sharpen those. But it's another little female channel cat. The females are almost always that greenish brown color, and the dots are a dead giveaway to it being a juvenile, other than its size. Let's get that one back. And since it's, well, you know what? We're going to give it a couple of more minutes. I tell you what, these mosquitoes are eating me alive. And I've got like 2 gallons worth of various cans of cancer to do away with the bugs, but I almost never remember to bring them with me. So a lot of good they do. Another thing you can do as far as these little circle hooks or any circle hook, if you don't want to do a snell knot or whatever, what you can do is just do a little overhand knot and form a loop. And take, like with any knot on a circle hook, put that loop through the front of the hook, spread it, and just pull it tight. That way it's still going to give it that cam type of action that circle hooks are known for when hooking up with a fish. And while this one is sitting out there waiting on a bite, I'm going to go ahead and start moving some of my stuff back to my vehicle. But yeah, I'm about convinced that scrolling Instagram or Facebook, in my case Instagram, while you're not paying attention to the rod, is what gets you some bites. Because I was watching that little piece of the C.W. McCall video there, of the rubber duck, even talking about just got a bite. Started watching it, went to pay attention to my rod, when I got a bite, stopped getting a bite. Went back to watching Instagram, started getting a bite. So, we're going to sneak back on and watch bird videos.
That's $1, Chandler. Go launch it.
It's lighting. That was kind of lame.
Oh, shoot. Well, that one probably got all my worm. And it certainly did. But that goes to prove my theory. As long as you ain't paying attention to your rods, you'll get bites. And I've already put up all my worms and stuff, so we're going to call it at that. Not the most spectacular video ever, but hey, I'll take fresh content when I can get it. Because summer sucks. Summer fishing sucks. So, someday I'm going to get a catfish on my 6'4" medium light Cast King Kestrel. But today, unfortunately, is not that day. Now, I could easily just put a bunch of worms on that little circle hook, but I want to put some cut bait on it and get something bigger than a sandwich-sized catfish. Well, y'all, the struggle bus has definitely not gotten any better. Anyway, did get skunked. That's all that matters. Like, that is the sole thing with all of my videos. As long as it don't get skunked, that's all that matters. I just don't particularly care for, you know, posting videos with just 2 or 3 catches in them. But, you know, it happens to a lot of people, especially us average Joes. And I know a lot of people enjoy my content, and the way I see myself on this platform is I'm just a dude with a camera and a fishing rod. Like, I struggle big time with fishing, just like a lot of people do. And after seeing all the gar that's in here, I'm going to come back here one day with some topwater stuff and try to do just some gar fishing, because there's a lot of really small gar in here. There's 2 right there. And I'm eventually going to conjure up the huevos to do some carp fishing back here, but there's a lot of snags and trash like that. Anyway, if you like the video, like the content, check out all the links in the video description. Anytime you buy something through those links, helps me out. Hope you like the video. We'll see you in the next one.